I think Igor was a wonderful football player and a great football coach. Sunil is similar, man. You would always see him first and leave last. I don't think we should blame people. I think we need to introspect and build the next crop because of his intelligence. I worked with him personally. He's a very sharp.
This time for now for us to move to our second segment now. This is called On Target. Again, I have four questions for you, which are very specific to a particular topic. The big news, starting with the big news up front. What do you think didn't work out for Igor Stimac in the end? We all know that he parted ways with Indian football a couple of days back, and so my question would be, what, in your opinion, was it that went wrong for Augusti match in the longer term, in the scheme of things, in the long term? So,
I think Igor was a wonderful football player and a great football coach. No disregard for that. But like I say, what went wrong is you're as good as your players on the pitch, to be honest. You can't expect Igor to work out miracles. If your players are not technically capable, are not able to make the right decision every time, come on, guys. It's not about alone on Igor. It's about your 11 or 20 player squad that you can deliver and you can get out of it. So I think overall, I would not blame Igor, but I would like to introspect, analyze our current problems, where we lack, and improve on them. For example, only one striker. Really? Can you win a game without a striker?
no, you need
Can
to
you
score
can
goals to
you
win a
can
football
you
match. Yeah.
progress to a next qualifying stage without having people who can score? And tell me, how long can you defend? 90 minutes? Will you just defend? It'll be 0-0-0-0. 4 games, 4 points. Hello. I don't think we should blame people. I think we need to introspect and build the next crop or enable our people to get better.
Yeah, people have been going on about Stimach's tenure and the negatives during that tenure, but there obviously have been quite a few positives as well. I think the way he has brought in a few of the younger players who are now established stars within the team, that has been a plus. The last year, 2023, where we won three back-to-back competitions, was a great year for Indian football as well. So, in your opinion, what profile do we need to look at as the next head coach for the Indian football team?
Sayan, I really wish the right people hear me out and they have the courage to make this decision. I don't think we need a foreign coach. I think we need to send our top 10 ex players, people like Renedy, who have served the nation, to come out in Europe, get integrated with the football club, work with them, learn with them, do their UEFA licenses, come back home. Next 3-4 years, let's do that. Then we can build something better. You have to understand one thing, Sayan. You're a Bengali, Roshan is a Malayali. And if I don't have any cultural reference to you, then you will never sweat it for me. These foreign coaches, they come with a white man's appearance. They don't understand our culture. They don't understand how we react. How do we say no in our world? Here they say no. This is different. We can live on dirty streets. It's normal for us. They don't. They call us poor. They don't, European coaches don't like to work on a weekend. Weekends are the most holy days for them in their whole week. In Europe, Sundays are silent. And in India, Sundays are the most happening day because we go shopping and we go do everything. So there's a big cultural indifference. We need to enable our people, and I've been at it for the last 14 years since I was with AIFF. We do not need any foreign coaches, number one. Number two, enable our people. Number three, give it time. If you can spend millions and millions on a steam match and give him 5 years, Spend half of that money, send your top 10 players abroad, yeah. Former ex players. Clifford. Do you see Mahesh Gawli? Wonderful. Why? He was in Germany. Why? Is it so difficult for people to look and act on it? Or just because an Indian, a brown guy tells them this, I, as an Indian, tell this to my administrators at AIFF, invest in your people? No. Why will a foreign coach build a second line? Why? Do you think he came here to lose his job? He'll never build a second line, no? Stimmage built a second line for you? Bob Houghton, did he create the next line? No. Who came after that? The English guy?
Constantine.
Did he create your next line? Robban, your technique. Did he create your next technical director? No. The problem is in Indian football that nobody wants to develop the nation. They want to hold their seat for 5 years and then ciao. Guys, no foreign coaches. Seriously. Indians need to do well, and Indian will only liberate our India. That's it. It's simple. Pick up these guys. Get Mahesh Goli in. He's the perfect candidate. You see players who did very well for the nation, who've been 13, 14 years. See Clifford, see Mahesh. Bring all coaches from across the country. Renedy, Punjab boys, whoever who's played great football. You got a wonderful player who played with me, Manan. Bring him in. He's vibrant. He also acted in this movie, the new movie that came on for football. I don't remember the name.
Medan. Yeah.
Yeah. Bring these kids in. Who's your next line? Like for a Jingan, bring him in. Tell him you need to help the guys. It's about liberating your country. Make a story. These guys will come. They played for the country. They bleed blue. Deepak Mandol, wonderful player. Bring him in. Bring boys from Kerala in, former India internationals. So, so what if they cannot read right, but you can enable them. How long does it take? If you come to Germany or France, don't you think you need to learn the language? If you need to learn, you need to learn. But these guys know so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the
We've all
26 states, bring them down. Former internationals, Indian, and make a camp of these coaches, bring them in together. Say, okay, who wants to do this? Trust me, everyone will come. Trust me. No foreign coaches anymore, guys.
Sir has had his quota of foreign coaches, it feels. Rishwin, are you of the same opinion that we need someone from within the country as the next head coach?
Yeah, of course, I kind of agree with what Eric sir said because we do have a lot of Indian coaches who has performed really well with the ISL teams as well. Because when you look at Khalid Jamil and Clifford Miranda, both were really good, and also Mahesh Gowli, he really took us in the SAF Championship last year, and in the semi-finals, he and his team have performed really well. So I'm looking up to the Indian coach, someone who can lead us in the future as well.
I am not eliminating the whole aspect of no foreigners in our country. Understand that. I am
Yeah.
saying these people have a very special role. They have more experience, they have the intelligence, they see football more differently, they are more enabled, they have more hours on the pitch. Use them as artificial intelligence. Use them not to be the face of your country, but to give you information and make your crop and your people more intelligent.
Yeah.
Bring them as a TD. Bring him as an advisor to the national team. Let him advise. Let him give us. And you don't need to pay $25,000 for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've also touched upon players going abroad, like you mentioned, sir, previously, that our players as well as managers and all other stakeholders, administrators as well, they need to go abroad and learn how elite level football works at every level. We saw Edmund Ralindika debut for India in Sunil Chetri's farewell match. Now he has had a great season for Inter Kashi this season and is now all set to train with the Canadian Premier League side Atletico Ottawa. This is probably the latest in a long list of names who have gone down abroad and tried to play in a team of of an elite level. What do you make of him and his future and the pathway that exists for Indian players to move abroad? Do you think it's robust enough at the moment, or do you think more needs to be done in that respect as well?
Okay, I'll add a little spice to the story. This new player is going to Canada. You remember one of Zlatan's interview where he said, "Oh, there was this American player," and he was mocking Zlatan, saying that I am also playing. Why am I not paid as much as Zlatan? And you know what Zlatan said? I came to America when I was about to retire. Where did I play the highest level of my football? In Europe. That's the answer, guys. You want to beat them at their sport in their land, you got to be in their land. That's why Sunil and Baichung have a lot of respect in my eyes. They went to their land and they performed. Even Gurpreet was in Europe. That's what's the differentiator. I wish Canadian football helps. I don't have any disrespect for them. I only have respect that they're giving our people an opportunity. Wonderful. But if our children need to do well, if we need to do that Lord's moment where Ganguly has taken his shirt out, we need to be there. And if at a younger age these players are exposed to this, trust me. Thapa, same. Came from the AIFF Academy. Chinian, I will not disclose numbers. Chinian signed him for peanuts. I worked with him in FC Mets for 6 months with 5 boys. And Thapa all of a sudden becomes a star. Really? What changed in 6 months? Maybe Eric did some magic, voodoo magic on Thapa. No. Maybe the French water helped. No. It was the exposure. Because football there was 24/7. They were seeing high level matches on the stadium, watching a PSG, understanding what mistakes happen on the pitch, absorbing every minute. A lot of us watch football games. You know how my players watch football games when I mentor my players? I push them to watch their position, and I'm saying this so that the others learn if they hear this. Look at the player in your position. What does he do? How does he contribute to the team? Football is beautiful. Trust me. It's the hardest thing to look at a player of your position and just sit there and watch him. And you will then realize, wow, this guy's a magician. And imagine 11 magicians. That's what we lack at Indian football. We don't have magicians on the pitch. We have very hardworking, passionate football players, but tactically not so superior. Not so superior.
Yeah, yeah. I think right now in the Indian team, the only magic player that I can think of would probably be Brandon Fernandez, in my opinion. But even he lacks a little bit of consistency. I think that has been the problem with a lot of these kind of players.
Yeah, I mean, a Brandon would do phenomenally well. Probably if our team has a person, like for example, the German team, I'll give you, they have a German psychologist. Like for example, a guy from Bavaria, he has a very special mentality. A guy from Hessen, he has a very different mentality. A guy who's come from East Germany has very different mentality. They have people around players to support them. But you know what I hear always in Indian football? We don't have money. Which is complete nonsense. Trust me, we have money. As a nation, we are not poor. So the federation needs to man up and say, we will create these resources for our nation to do well, rather than going with the katora and begging everybody. Because I just hate this mentality. Trust me. Nobody will, you guys, if you go beg, you will only get arm. You give arm to the poor, you'll get that. But if you say, no, I got to stand up on my feet, I need to create a revenue stream, educated people come into Indian football administration, then the sport will go ahead. Then the sport will go ahead. But sitting and expecting money from Reliance and FIFA and saying, itne budget mein to itna hi hoga, and then the desh expects more from you, and then you blame somebody else and you kick everybody out after 2, 3, 5 years. Football's not going to develop like this. Somebody needs to say, nine, this is how I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Some
Our
harsh
country is
reality.
great, man. We have a lot of potential.
Yeah, we absolutely do.
Administrators are weak, very weak.
Yeah, some harsh realities there to end the second segment that we had. Moving on to the third and final segment. This is called Vartalap. So my question was, there has been a lot of talk regarding the Indian talent in the I League as well. We mentioned Edmund in the ISL, but there has also been this young lad called Lal Biaknia who scored 15 goals in the I League this season. How do we think the progression from I League to ISL is shaping up, especially because there has been this narrative against the I League recently that it is probably not the greatest level of football in the I League. So, if you could shed light on that and your thoughts on that.
For I League, Indians need to play I League. A lot of young players need to play I League, and that will really help the sport back home because they'll get game time. And there's nothing bigger than game time. The exposure that they get, the time that they spend on the pitch. Match fitness and practice fitness is complete other. And able to recover the next week again for a next game is even harder. Indian Arrows, man, classic example. Why they shut it down, I don't know. How many players we had for India? And tell me if JJ did not score enough goals for India. Indian Arrows boy.
JJ was a fantastic player for India until he
Where
got
did he go?
injured.
He was a
Yeah,
bench warmer at Pune FC.
yeah, yeah.
I spoke to Chirag to release him, and Chirag wasn't happy to release him. And Chirag finally released him for the Asian Games and Olympic Qualifiers. But then we signed him. And he said, come on. And without a foreigner, we came ninth. Without a foreigner. First year, bench warmers playing against top teams of the country. That was enough. If anybody was smart enough, they would do only grassroots. We need to invest on our people, guys. That's the thumb rule. And I League is doing good thing for our young children. They will do well. They will get picked up. But again, the other big thing is everybody is in a hurry to play ISL. Why? I don't know. Go play at a club where you're getting playing time because that is magic. Don't look at the divisions. That's what I tell players when they come to Europe as well. Don't look at the division. Look at playing time. And then you will develop. This whole divisional thing is such a egoistical thing. I'm playing
Yeah.
ISL. Hey, I didn't see you. Yeah, I'm on the bench. Okay, good luck. But you also have to remember those guys are also smart, They have a squad of 24 or 28. Now they need to do training, okay? And I hope the young players are listening to this. So what they do is they pick up the best young crop against their 12 or 14 favorite ones who are going to play the whole season, and then they'll practice against these boys. Because these boys are young, they will keep pushing. The intensity of the training goes high.
Yeah.
So a lot of coaches only bring in players so the intensity of the coaching goes high. Because they can't play outside. And after this is done and they know that this is not good, okay, maybe one or two we'll move on to and the rest of the squad goes away. So young players need to play. Yes, it's beautiful to dream for a higher level, but you know your strengths. You can't lie to yourself. Keep playing ISL, get matured, and then obviously go. The moment they say, oh, I'll get 20,000, 30,000 extra, I'm going, it's a little tricky situation.
So we can move on to the next question then. Staying on the I League topic, Mohammedan SC, of course, they won the I League this season and they'll be participating in the ISL next season, which means that all three big clubs from Bengal will be participating in the Indian Super League the upcoming season. How big a boost do you think this will be for Indian football, sir? And will this ensure that Bengal re-emerges as the the primary football pocket of India, if I can call it that, apart from Kerala, of course, because it has kind of fallen behind in recent years, in at least in my understanding. What do you think about it?
So Sayan, it's also I always see things in a pattern and in a cycle. I always see that there are ups and downs. It happens. It's life. So has Mohammedan gone up and down. But I only see positive in it. I only see positive in it. Because then children have another club to play at, young players, aspiring players. There's a certain section, there's a certain community who also wants to come back into football. They have pride, they have emotions. It'll only waken people up. I remember in 2014 when ISL started, I was all praises about it because it will remunerate the kids well. Kids will have a better standard, better quality. So all these initiatives, all these new ventures coming in or reviving ventures back in is only positive. I only see positive, and I really wish that they do well and look after their players and develop the game. And obviously, Bengal has been a powerhouse, very, very close to my heart. So I only have, I'm only expecting good out of this.
Yeah, we are all very hopeful about this development, of course. Rishwin, your thoughts on promoting clubs from the I League to the ISL? Your thoughts on that specifically? Do you think that will be a turning point going forward for the Indian Super League?
A club like Mohammedan entering to the ISL is a massive achievement because it's one of the historic club in India, and they definitely earn a spot in the top tier. So this will definitely ignite competitiveness in ISL. And for the lower division, they will be getting more influenced by this because they also have a hope that in the future they can also compete in the top tier of Indian football as well. So this is a massive achievement, and I'm really looking forward to see them playing in ISL next season.
Yeah. I think it serves as a huge motivation for the clubs who are in the I League, and it makes them feel that there is a pathway that exists, and if they can work their backsides off, they can reach that level as well. I think it is obviously a very good thing.
Yeah,
Moving
yeah.
on. Yeah, moving on. Sir, we've also seen the Reliance Foundation Developmental League and the Dream Sports Championships, which are both happening this year. Both of these are youth leagues, and we've seen a pattern here. Roundlass Punjab FC, or slash Minerva Punjab, whatever you might call it. They have been instrumental in developing some of the youngsters over the past 5 years or so. They've again emerged as the champions in both these competitions, with East Bengal as the runners up. When we talk about grassroots football and grassroots infrastructure, how do we set that as the basis and build more from there? How do we nurture these talents to become elite footballers? If you can enlighten us on that.
See, I think grassroots needs to be taken very seriously by every club in our country. You know, it cannot be a tick box scheme. I have an association or partnership with Sai, and I get players from them, and it's a tick box exercise. Firstly, I think the federation needs to restructure the remuneration of a player who convocates from an academy. Only then people, because there is money involved. If there is good money involved, people will do a good job. Grassroots has to be done in association, in sync with the club's playing style mentality. Like, for example, let me put it in how we do it in France. I work with a wonderful football club known as FC Metz. This club has created Sadio Mane, Pjanic, Robert Perez, and name Emmanuel Adebayo, names Koulibaly, name goes on and on and on. You know how we create players? I've been working with them for 14 years now. The club has a philosophy of playing, and that philosophy goes down. From a 9-year-old to from a 6-year-old till his academy convocation, they play with a certain system and a style, which is influenced by a person who's achieved something in the sport, who's educated in the sport. That's why he's the technical director. He bleeds for the club. Grassroots needs to be seen seriously. Reliance is doing a fantastic job. They are helping. They have engaged Indian coaches. Wonderful. They're doing a fantastic job. Former favorite player of our Barreto is also there. They're doing a fantastic job. They're creating leagues, but they're only limited to doing that. But why are not I League clubs and ISL clubs seriously looking at it? Why? Why is there not a U9? Why cannot a state come together and say, okay, if the state association does not have the bandwidth due to whatever reasons, why can't a private body come and say, I'm going to host this in my city or my state and develop this up and organize it? It's a wonderful opportunity for any sports management person. I meet a lot of kids who study, hire me. I said, go back home, start your leagues, do it in a structured way, work with a club, put a grassroots plan for them, work with the technical director. People are now doing it. I hope it takes shape. But grassroots need to be taken so seriously because that's your future. It's like I'm not going to invest in nursery school, but I'll invest in senior school. This is wonderful mentality, guys. Wow. You've done enough damage. The nursery school needs to be harnessed. A senior student at a school does not need all the facilities that a nursery child needs. He needs security, a safe place, and everything. Pitches are not safe to play. There are dogs running on a football pitch. How do you expect a parent, an educated parent, to say, okay, I will give my child an opportunity to play when he looks at no infrastructure? And it doesn't cost. India is not poor. People who own clubs are not poor. How much does it cost to buy 40 acres of land outside the city? Why not? Build proper infrastructure so that child feels happy to come. Look at my football. I'm playing on AstroTurf in floodlights. Wow. Do that investment rather than wasting your money on foreign players. Invest in your own children. You will get superstars. Beautiful pitches. Like, tell me how many, you guys are in India, right? How many small side pitches are there? Tell me, in India.
Very few, very few, yeah.
There are pitches, no? Every city has more than 40, 50 pitches. You go to a Pune.
But
You
even
go,
that is just the tier one cities, no, sir?
Arey Baba, somebody has it.
Yeah, of course.
Somebody has it. Don't parents send them to go play? Why? Why don't they send them to a community ground where there are grassroots initiative by a former player? Because that place is safe. What does it take for a club to create that? Nothing. Trust me. If there is someone who really loves this sport, he can look at what they created in Chennai, no? Mahabaleshwar, no,
Madras.
Madras FC. No, where is the location? Mahabalipuram.
Yeah,
Beautiful. Can you believe the Indian team is using that pitch? And are you telling me the AIFF does not have grants or does not have so much influence to create this for the youth players? Come on, guys. North, South, East, West, Central. 5 center of excellences can be created. We are not a poor country here. We are not. And I'm sick and tired of hearing it. There is no money in football. There is enough money in football. They need to invest it in the right pockets and be patient. That's it. Takes time. You put a seed, it takes time to grow, yeah. Expecting fruits right then, not possible. Grassroots key. That's it. If India focuses in the next 8 years on grassroots, we will qualify. If India focuses on investing on their people, they will qualify. But India wants an escape. I'll bring a foreign coach down. Trust me, nothing will happen. No. We need people who have self respect and pride for this nation to run this nation's football. We don't need people who whine and throw dirty laundry at each other. Sorry. This doesn't show maturity. The others look at us and mock at us. This is a this is a complete disgrace. Should not run our nation like this. Even a husband and wife fight, but they don't go outside the house and fight. There has to be some respect and professionalism in this sport.
We've talked about so many different things, and I think it's very interesting to understand different perspectives on a lot of topics. So, like you spoke about our players going abroad, but equally important being the administrators and the coaches going abroad. I think that is something that a lot of people don't think about. They just think that players going abroad will solve the issue, which is not the case. Similarly, grassroots football, the fact that you mentioned that all of the clubs which are anyway losing money, if they want to reinvest the money in the right avenues, there is still a very realistic way of developing football in the country. And for some reason, that has still not happened even after 10 years of the ISL. So, yeah, that is all from our end. We've gone through a lot of diverse topics, we've had a lot of diverse perspectives on it. Thank you to Eric Benny, sir, for joining us for this chat. Thanks to Rishwin as well. It has been a pleasure talking to the two of you gentlemen. We'll be back next month with more on Indian football. Till then, stay tuned to our channel and have a good one. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, boys. Thank you. Very kind and very patient.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Ciao.
Thank you.